going on, everybody, and welcome back to the Hardwood Convos podcast here on the 515 Podcast Network. I'm Brock Bierman alongside, as always, with the boys Dawson, Livingston, and Hunter Rose. We're going to talk a little bit of NBA hoops here. It's been a couple weeks. Honestly, I think it was before Christmas the last time that we had a podcast. But a lot of things have happened in the NBA. A lot of things have happened, but nothing necessarily new that we haven't talked about. It's just everything has been getting bigger and bigger in terms of a storyline, as well as just drama overall in the NBA. So first of all, Happy New Year to you guys. I know we haven't done a podcast since the week of Christmas. How are we doing? Dawson, I know in the NFL side of the NFL, you're just balling with your Chiefs in prime position for a three-peat. Well, I guess I don't know if I'm allowed to say that. Thanks, Pat Riley, for trademarking that. Repeating the repeat, I guess we can call it. But outside of that, how are we feeling?
Feeling good. About halfway through the NBA season. Cavs are sitting in a good spot. Best record in the league. Love to see it. Like Brock mentioned, conference championship weekend is this upcoming Sunday. So maybe Chiefs can get back to the Super Bowl, play in New Orleans. But yeah, real good right now. Real good.
If I'm being honest, if they win this week, it's over. Like, I feel like this. We'll get into that tomorrow. I guess. Yeah, this show will be posted tomorrow morning. So we're recording here on a Wednesday. I'll be posted around Thursday morning. And then the Sports Nerds, the NFL podcast, previewing the conference championship games, will be on Friday morning. But I feel like, without getting too deep into it, the Chiefs-Bills game is probably the biggest game of the entire playoffs at this point. Hunter, you're in the same boat as me. You're probably full basketball mode, knowing that the NFL season doesn't really matter anymore.
Football sucks, man. Football's not real. It's not a real sport. Fake news. Only sissies watch football, really. So
real men watch the UFL.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, it's been, Bucks are. We'll get into the Bucks. They've been playing good. But there's other reasons I hate this team sometimes. More so things outside of this team that I hate this team, but yeah.
I guess, we got to just hop right back into where we kind of left off last time we were talking about the NBA as a whole. Obviously we talked about the Christmas games as well, but the biggest storyline still is, even pretty much a month later, Jimmy Butler and the saga of wanting out of Miami. He has not doubled down. He has tripled down, if not has even gone farther to emphasize that he wants out of the Miami Heat ASAP, to the point where, he's gotten suspended. Did he get suspended the last time we had a show, or was he suspended after? Because again, we did it before Christmas. So I think he was suspended after.
Mm-hmm.
So he's suspended after, rejoined the team, suspended again today as we're recording here on Wednesday. I think it's just for 2 games, missing the team flight. I'm not someone that always reads into it more than you should, but missing a team flight, I feel like, with all the other added stuff that have happened to Jimmy Butler over the last month and a half, I'm reading into it more than I probably should.
Well, I think because if I remember, after the last suspension got all finished up, they kind of asked. They didn't ask Spo because I think Pat Riley, Brock mentioned this before, so I won't steal his thunder. But Pat Riley's very much like, he's not answering any questions about Jimmy Butler, which is kind of funny. But it seemed like the other people who did answer questions is a lot of like, we don't want to be distracted. So the fact that they just magically don't want to be distracted again before they get on a plane for a few days probably shows why they shouldn't be distracted and what they could be distracted by. Someone who's on the team who might not be on the team is still with them, not in Miami. So I'd say you're not reading into it too much, but who knows?
And at this point, like, am I dumb to think that Miami, for some reason, feels like they can find a way to fix this? Because I feel like they would have moved on from Jimmy by now if they didn't think that they could find a way to fix this relationship.
Well, that's the thing I was mentioning. I think it was the last podcast or maybe 2 podcasts ago, where it's like there was really weird reports where obviously there was the whole thing between Shams and Jimmy Butler's agent, whereas like the agent was like, I didn't say any of these things, and Shams like, yes, you did, and doubled down on the fact, which honestly is hilarious. Props to Shams for that one, to be like, no, you said it. I'm not a bad reporter. I do my job. But then there's other things where it's like, oh, the Miami Heat are like confident and hopeful that they can bring him back. It's like, a few months later, SpongeBob, 3 months later, and here we are. But he's wearing the Phoenix Suns shoes to a game. So just kind of crazy. Yeah, I'm sure Pat Riley's somewhere and is like, we'll get him back. We'll get him back somehow. It's like, no, you're not. You're delusional. But
Dawson, what are your thoughts on this situation right now?
Well, I think from what the last time we recorded an episode, it wasn't really sure what team he was going to get traded to. There was a couple thrown out there. I think the Mavs were one of the teams. I think the Rockets were one of the teams. Phoenix obviously was one of the teams. And now we kind of are all expecting him within the next week or so to get traded to Phoenix. This has just been rocky. It's been up and down for Miami and for Jimmy. Phoenix has made some moves over the last few days. It's made it really easy.
Trading one first-round pick for like multiple first-round picks.
Yeah,
I don't know how that works, but
still trying to wrap my head around that one. But they were able to pull that off and maybe get more assets for Miami for Jimmy Butler. But it kind of just feels inevitable at this point that Jimmy Butler is going to be on the Phoenix Suns, which I'm going to be really honest, I don't know how much that actually helps Phoenix. I know they made another move last week that I think was a upgrade for them at the center position, trading for a guy like Nick Richards from the Hornets. But I don't really know how much better Jimmy Butler is going to make you over having a guy like Bradley Beal on your team, who's been rumored to be traded out in order to acquire Jimmy Butler.
This is just such a weird situation. What was it? One of the picks was like a 2031 first-round pick.
Yeah, they traded away a sixth-grade demon. Like, why would they do that? Why would they do that?
Out here trading away a sixth grader
for 2025, 2027, 2029, least favorable of either Cleveland, Minnesota, or Utah. AKA, those are going to be Cleveland or Minnesota picks.
It's so weird. But now with how far this situation with Jimmy Butler and the Miami Heat has gone, more and more things that have happened, Jimmy Butler's made it clear what he wants. He wants out. And whether teams usually like it or not, they usually get rid of and trade the player that is the issue, because the longer you keep a player that doesn't want to be there, the bigger of a chance that player will become a cancer to the locker room. And while this guy isn't necessarily in the locker room because he can't even make team flights, the games that he is playing, he's wearing other teams' shoe colors, which nobody wears their team colors all the time with their shoes anymore. But still, when you're rumored to go to Phoenix and you're wearing Phoenix colors on your shoes, it's the most obvious move that you're making. I think this is a big reflection on the current state of the Miami Heat as a franchise as a whole. Pat Riley is not Pat Riley of old, or maybe Pat Riley thinks he's still Pat Riley of old, and he's stubborn and feels like he still has all the power in the world to get what he wants and form any team that he wants. But he's not able to do that anymore, because I don't know if I would consider him a top GM of the league anymore, honestly, because let's look at some of the rumors over the past couple years of players Miami was going to get. Damian Lillard was one of them. I think Bradley Beal was actually one of them. Mm-hmm. I mean, heck, you could go all the way back to 2018, 2017, when Gordon Hayward was a prime free agent, Kevin Durant, all these guys that Miami was going to get. Giannis, yeah. Giannis is a good one too, because for a good portion of the year before he signed his extension, there were rumors that he could end up in Miami. Well, no one's going to Miami like they used to. And even saying like they used to is kind of weird, because outside of the LeBron and Bosh situation, not many people really wanted to go to Miami outside of maybe a few players, but they weren't necessarily notable all-stars. Are the Miami Heat the Dallas Cowboys of the NBA? And Pat Riley's the Jerry Jones?
I like the comp.
Yeah.
I like the comp.
Where
Wish Chase were here for this.
I feel bad. I'm not trying to trash the Cowboys.
No, I think he would agree because even Cowboy fans like are annoyed of Jerry, and it seems like Heat fans are kind of annoyed with Pat Riley even.
Oh yeah,
and it's that I think that was some of the thing that was reported in an I think it was from ESPN, talking about like why Jimmy Butler was frustrated, where it's like they made it to the finals twice. And who did they add to help? Terry Rozier? That's the call to help that's going to get us over the hump.
Hey, that's like one of the best scorers in Charlotte Hornets history.
Don't let anyone forget what Bill Simmons called him. Mr. 80% of Damian Lillard is averaging like 11 points maybe right now. But it's just like, especially when, this is going to be calling out like ESPN too, when you have this big market, how everyone wants to play in the city of Miami, it's the best place on earth.
Who goes there?
Nobody's gone there. Like the last person that's gone there is Jimmy. Like more people have wanted out of Miami than in at this point. The only guys you've wanted that have been wanting to be there are Thomas Bryant, Terry Rozier, and Josh Richardson. Wow. Like outstanding. This isn't, there's not even a year that I can say that would make them more relevant. Like they just brought in these role guys and that Jimmy Butler's like, how do you expect me to win? Like, there's no way. There's actually no way.
How do you not mention Duncan Robinson?
Yeah, okay. Undrafted 6'7" demon from Massachusetts. But, I don't get it.
I just don't think that they're, and I'm not accusing Pat Riley of being the reason that they can't draw these free agents to Miami, but something is going on in that franchise where the media and the markets don't lie. Miami's a big market for NBA basketball, but they're not capitalizing on that. They're not getting the big free agents. They're not getting the big trades that they may have thought that they were able to get in years past. Which, thinking back to it, I don't really know many huge trades that they were able to make. They've always been rumored to be in the pool for insert all-star player who's wanting off of their team because that team's not winning, but they've never been the team to capitalize off of that. It's always been the second team on those rumored lists because it feels like it always is like LA or Miami is number one, and then whoever number two is, that's usually 2 or 3 is probably going to be the team that player ends up with. That's how it feels like for some reason. What do you think Miami needs to do to because I feel like this is this is ruining their name even more. What do they need to do?
I would say tear it down, but I don't even think they have their own first round pick this year. I think that pick belongs to OKC somehow, some way. Yeah,
they take a wild guess.
Top 14 protected pick. So if it's 1 through 14, it goes to Miami. But if it's not, it goes to OKC. And if it's 1 through 14, that OKC just gets next year's pick instead. So it's not like they can immediately be bad right away because there's a chance you might lose either this year's pick or next year's pick. One of them is going to be gone. They're in a weird spot in the NBA. You either want to be really bad with a bright future or contending at the top, saying you could potentially win an NBA Finals. Where Miami's at right now, they're in this middle ground where they have older players, but they still have good players on the roster. Tyler Hero's a great player. Bam Adebayo's a great player. They got some younger players like Nikola Jovic. Kayla Ware's been playing really well for him. But they're in this weird spot where they can't go all in because Jimmy's obviously wanting to leave, but they can't really tear down everything they've built. So they're just kind of in this 11 to 9 seed range. They're just kind of stuck at this point. So I don't know where they go from here.
Who would have thought that a team that a lot of people thought would contend at the top of the East for years to come with Jimmy Butler has slowly became. Oh no, is my Wi-Fi going out? Oh, okay, never mind. Let me restart that. My screen was glitching for a second there. So who would have thought the team with Jimmy Butler, who was thought to be a top dog in the East for years to come, with Bam Adebayo and Tyler Hero, which, as much as we sometimes flame Tyler Hero, he has had a pretty good year, averaging about 24 points per game. Who would have thought that they would be in the same conversation as Chicago, who was just stuck? They're not good. They're not bad. They're just there. They're just a team that's present. And they're in a very difficult situation where I think that they could become this next generation Chicago, where they're a big market, but they're not going to be able to capitalize because they're just stuck at this. Well, we don't want to be terrible just to get a good pick, but we're never going to be good because we're never able to develop a roster or trade or completely start over.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I guess the thing about fixing it, let's play some detective here, right? So, coaching, people want to play for good coaches, right? Everyone supposedly likes Eric Spoelstra. Supposedly, and I'm inclined to believe that they would agree, He's
going to drop a bombshell, ladies and gentlemen.
It's in Miami. Everyone loves the city. There's so much to do in Miami for single bachelors in their 20s and 30s. Great place for that. It can't be the culture. You can't get much better than that. Folks, it's time to fire Pat Riley. That is the only possible explanation. The only. If they are the Dallas Cowboys, any Cowboys fan, you got to fire Jerry. That is what you do to fix this, because it changes everything. Are they going to fire Pat Riley? No, you wouldn't fire Pat Riley, but yeah, especially with the whole Damian Lillard thing. Because, by the way, Damian Lillard does play for the Milwaukee Bucks, just so everyone is aware and we're all on the same page. He supposedly wanted to go to Miami, and apparently, Joe Cronin decided, I don't think so. For some reason, I'm inclined to believe it probably is because of Pat Riley. Would not be shocked, because he's like, all right, you're gonna give us him. This is all you're gonna get. This is the most we're gonna give for this all-time talent. This is the cap. Is like what was like Tyler Hero and maybe like 2 picks or something like it's something ridiculous. So it's just like you have to be, in order to make the big changes, like with as you guys have brought up, where it's like they're kind of stuck. It's like you have to bring in somebody that is willing to do that, to make like huge changes. And it seems like Pat Riley is just like only making changes because his feelings are hurt. That's it.
It is interesting how over the past couple of years we have seen some of the all-time great sports, anything, insert name, player, coach, commissioner, GM, whatever. They are so stubborn because they've had so much success in the past that they won't accept that times are changing and they either need to adjust, evolve, or get out. Bill Belichick was one of those. Refused to evolve in the world of the NFL. And now he's at North Carolina. We'll see how that works. The fact that we're talking about Bill Belichick coaching in the college game is still weird to me. You got Jerry Jones, won Super Bowls as the GM and owner of the Cowboys, which, side note, the Miami Heat have a better will always have a better chance of firing Pat Riley because Pat Riley doesn't own the Miami Heat versus the Jerry Jones situation. But Jerry's been stubborn for God, how long now, with the quarterbacks, with the players, just coaches.
Mm-hmm.
He wants to be right, and he won't accept criticism of any kind. To keep it Central Iowa based, Fran McCaffrey refuses to adjust. He's been recruiting the same type of players. He focuses more on recruiting high school players more than he does about the transfer portal. and this is, again, no shade thrown on Fran McCaffrey. He's done things that some coaches only dream of doing, having a National Player of the Year, winning a Big Ten championship in the tournament, making numerous NCAA tournament appearances in general. But other teams are lapping him now because they're utilizing the portal a little more than he is. And fans in the University of Iowa aren't necessarily the happiest with how that program is right now. And it's a similar thing. The Patriots fan base they thought it was time for Bill to go. The Cowboys fan base they've been ready. They've been ready for a while. Miami fans are starting to get there. And I think it's time you can hang a banner, honor Pat Riley for everything he's done for Miami because he helped get them those championships that they have. But at some point, it's time to move on, new era kind of situation. Celtics did that with Danny Ainge. Look what happened. They ended up winning a championship. I still give credit for what Danny Ainge did for how the Celtics ended up winning the championship, because without what Danny Ainge did set the foundation to get Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum, Celtics wouldn't be where they are today. I still think there is a chance that Miami could create something with Bam Adebayo and Tyler Hero. Not necessarily as those guys being the 1 and 2, but like maybe Pat Riley steps aside. Maybe even Spoelstra does a similar thing to Brad Stevens and moves up to the GM role. And then they kind of restart there. Because that also was a situation too where Celtics fans were kind of like, Brad Stevens is a great coach, but it was getting a little stale in terms of like how same things happened every year. They would make it to the second round, maybe the conference finals, and then lose. So I feel like, yeah, I think we're all in agreement that something needs to change. And I think a lot of it has to do with Pat Riley potentially going. I just, like Hunter, like you said, I just don't think it's going to happen unless he decides to retire. I don't think he'll go out on someone will pull the trigger and fire him. I think he would go out only on his terms.
Yep. Would agree.
But obviously, when you're talking about Jimmy Butler, you hear about the Phoenix Suns, and the Phoenix Suns have a financial situation, and I don't think they can trade for Jimmy Butler and keep their 3 current stars, right?
That'd be impossible.
Nope.
So it's financially impossible for that to happen. So recently, obviously, rumors have happened where do the Suns try to trade one of their 3 stars? The problem is KD's not going to get traded, and Devin Booker's not going to get traded. So it goes back to one guy who has played basically barely any games for the Suns or in general in the last 3 years. Bradley Beal has been in the rumor mill. Hunter's making a stink face because one of the teams involved in the potential hypothetical trades is Milwaukee. Now, everything I've seen, and I think Dawson pointed it out before we started recording, there's been no official talks from Milwaukee and Phoenix, but I think I saw something that said Bradley Beal would be willing to waive his no trade clause, which he has in his contract, to go to Milwaukee and play for the Bucks.
Did anybody ask Milwaukee if they were okay with this? Did anybody ask? Anybody? Is Milwaukee okay with Bradley Beal waiving his no trade clause? Because
I'm glad I didn't even have to ask you.
I, for one, am not personally talking about the real deal Beal in the big 2025. Good Lord.
But like, you would know Milwaukee's financial situation. Can they take on Beal's contract without giving up too much?
Oh, because Beal has like one of the worst contracts in the NBA right now. Bro's going to be making $57 million in 3 years, and the average is maybe a 20 a night.
And so I'm assuming that Middleton is the one that's getting brought up.
Yep.
Unfortunately,
we might as well trade Giannis if we're going to be this unserious. But yeah, it would be him. I think the number one like fake trade that keeps going around is that they would essentially, I mean, it involves a gajillion different teams, but it would be Middleton would be gone, Portis would be gone, which thank heavens, and then Connaughton again, thank heavens, but all that for Mr. Scoring leader of 2020. disgusting. Actually disgusting.
Oh, by the way, I just read a tweet. I think it said that there is technically no truth. I saw a tweet that said Beal would waive his no trade clause, but I think someone came back and said that he wouldn't waive his no trade clause. So if he's not going to waive his no trade clause, Jimmy Butler to Phoenix is pretty much a no-go then.
Yeah, no.
Well, I'm sure you could find other teams.
Yeah.
Milwaukee doesn't have to be one of the teams. Like, I've seen Chicago thrown around a few times because Chicago's got players that they could ship out that kind of balance the money. I've heard like Levine being thrown out and stuff like that. So like, you send Beal to Miami, send Levine to no, I'm sorry. Beal to Chicago, Levine to Miami, Butler to Phoenix, obviously, but there's a couple other teams that can make that happen. But if Milwaukee's not in it, I don't see the actual likelihood that this trade gets done.
It's just a messy situation, this Jimmy Butler thing. And honestly, we talked about it. Is Jimmy Butler all that worth it anymore?
Who knows? I think the one thing with like trading for Jimmy Butler is it at least sets the path clear on what your goal is. Because as much crap as we give Jimmy Butler, the dude gets like the job done. Besides, winning the whole thing. We don't talk about that part. But with getting there, he gets the job done. He's going to show up. He's going to play defense. He's going to play hard. He's going to do all the nitty gritty things. So it becomes clear if a team gets him, surely they're going to contend. Now, how expensive that is another question mark, especially with the age. But I think that's why Phoenix is considering it so much, because obviously they're a team that, even with their supposed big three, like they literally moved Beal to the bench because it just wasn't working, wasn't happening. Defensively, they have Ryan Dunn and got Nick Richards. That helps out defensively a bit. But if you get a guy like Jimmy Butler instead of Beal, that probably is going to help out just a little bit. And I think similarly with Levine, it's like, well, if you want him, you want scoring. So like, there's the value there. Like you have somebody that can do something. This is all secretly me complaining about all the rumors. If you trade for Bradley Beal in 2025, you don't know what you're doing. Thanks. But I think when you look at those three players within being in the midst of all this, it's like each of them, except for one, has a pretty clear like identity on like what you want for said team. Because even Zach Levine, I feel like everybody's been talking like he's been 18 for the past 6 years. Like he is like fairly young still. Like he has like a lot left in the tank and, can score on literally every level. But I think that's probably where the value, I don't think people, I would assume, care as much about how much it's going to cost to get Jimmy as much as it is like, all right, this is what we're doing. Like once we get him, and then we'll figure it out later. Probably isn't a good thing or smart thing to do. But
who would you guys rather trade for right now? Because I'm assuming both of them are going to get.
Are you saying Levine or Beal or
Levine or
Butler?
Butler. Just because I'm assuming both of them are going to get shopped here.
Mm-hmm.
I guess it also depends on what your roster is and where.
Yeah, it depends on the fit for me.
I think I honestly would rather have Jimmy Butler, for the Bucks. But that is tough. That's mostly just because, like, yes, the Bucks defense has looked better, but especially like for what he would bring versus Levine. The thing with Levine that sucks is since he plays for the Bulls, all of his stats just look non-existent because they're insane. Like they're really, really good. But it's also for the Bulls. So, like, are they really that good?
I feel like there's a situation, though, where you can make him – the defensive-wise wouldn't transfer over, but, like, offensively, you could turn him into, like, a Derek White-esque type player where, like, stats-wise it may not be there, but, like, when you need that bench player – not bench player because White isn't a bench guy. When you don't need your star to go off, which then that's also, I'm not trying to hate on Levine. He's not a one guy. To win a championship and maybe even more than one championship, I don't think he can be the two guy. I think he's got to be that third option. And so I kind of like him a little more than Jimmy Butler because he's also super athletic too. I think he shoots the ball well already anyways. And I'd rather be able to manipulate the offense with someone that's kind of a hybrid where he is athletic, but he can also shoot the ball really well versus Jimmy Butler where he kind of has to have the ball in his hand. Not always, but like if he's not driving, I don't rely on him to score.
Mm-hmm.
But that's my opinion. Because I think back, obviously, Hunter, you thought about it from a Bucks fan perspective, and I thought about it through a Celtics fan perspective, where I see Derek White, how his game wasn't an offensive superstar when he came to Boston, but it's transformed into that. But I feel like a team could take Levine, who already has that raw talent, and take him to another level in terms of offensive efficiency. English is a hard language.
Yeah, I feel like trying to think. I almost feel like from a Lakers fan perspective, I think I don't want to speak for Chase, but I feel like I would rather want Levine probably in that situation.
Yeah.
Curious. I mean, Cleveland doesn't need anything. You guys are stupid. You don't.
Cam Johnson's the only player I want. Dude. Bring Cam Johnson over, and we're winning the chip. 76-6. We won't lose another game.
That'd be crazy.
I got a good photo involving the.
No, you don't. You're such a liar.
Yeah, I do.
You're such a liar.
No, I have a good photo that recaps the Cleveland run this year.
To Jared Allen. Hey,
it's not true. That's mad disrespectful.
For those that are listening to the audio only, it is the starting five of the 2015 Atlanta Hawks team. Which, hey, by the way, Celtics legends Jeff Teague and Al Horford are both on this team. But
NBA champion Jeff Teague and killer Kyle Korver. Oh my God.
Crazy comp.
I saw a photo of that a couple days ago, and I was like, no,
not at all. The Cavs' third best player is better than any of those players in the Hawks.
Whoa.
Yeah, I'll say that.
I'd rather have Paul Millsap than Donovan Mitchell.
That's some shade, man. That's some shade.
I'm just saying. I don't know.
I'm just saying too, there's just that quiet team that's in the second seed that ends up going to the finals because, 2015 Hawks were just too good.
But yeah, the Celtics aren't going to have Timofey Mozgov and Matthew Dellavedova as the second and third best player in that final series.
Yeah, instead they have the six-man all-star in Peyton Pritchard.
Yeah. Peyton Pritchard. Still hate that guy.
Also reports out, Hunter, you mentioned the Lakers. I think ESPN reported this out. LeBron and Anthony Davis are concerned that the Lakers aren't going to be able to make significant upgrades to the roster. I'm not going to lie. If I'm a Lakers fan, I'm calling this season kind of a lost cause at this point. And it's not because I don't think that they could make a run. I just think that the talent in the upper half of the Western Conference this year is just unbelievable. I am looking at the standings right now. You got Oklahoma City at 1. Houston, by the way, what a season that they have had at the 2 seed at 28-14. Memphis, Denver, the Clippers, and then right behind them are the Lakers. I'd still take 4 out of the 5 over the Lakers, honestly. And this is no disrespect to the Lakers. This is just where those rosters are at in a 7-game series. Obviously, you still have LeBron, who is ageless and able to do things at age 40 that nobody has been able to do in the NBA basketball. But you mentioned Levine. I think I saw something that Lonzo might be on the block. I don't know if he's targeted by LA specifically, but I saw some rookie photo of Lonzo, which, by the way, Lonzo as a rookie looks completely different than Lonzo now. He spent all that VC on his looks. But where are you guys' mindsets at with the Lakers currently? Do you think that they can still contend for a title, or do you think that door is kind of similar to the Warriors? Because I think we all agree that the Warriors championship hopes is pretty much gone unless they make some blockbuster trade. But are the Lakers there? Can they make some moves that potentially they can get there, or do you guys still have hopes for this roster?
Where's MVP Anthony Davis? I've been flamed all year. Where is he? Huh? Because I recall saying, he doesn't deserve to be in these talks. And I remember being flamed for this. Where is he? Where is he? Huh? I think he dropped a whopping 15 in his last game. Huh?
Can I?
Where are they at? Where are they at?
Can I apologize for flaming you for that?
Where are they at? But yeah, I think it's so weird because I agree. Like, this is probably been the weirdest because they're like, I'm sure they have a better record at this point than they did last year. And it's like, coaching wise, like JJ Redick's kind of surprised me. I think he's honestly done a pretty good job for a first year coach, but it's like, it is crazy that like this is probably one of the better positions they've been in like at this point in the season compared to the past couple of years. And there's probably the least talk I've heard about the Lakers in a while, where it's just
scares me, if anything.
It's crazy. But I agree though, because it is like, because even you look at the teams behind them, Dallas is behind them. That's not probably going to last much longer. Because I mean, Luka's been out. We were talking, Dawson and I were talking before. Derek Lively's injured too. He's out for a while now. You have the Kings are a weird team. I'm not even going to mention them.
Any team with DeMar DeRozan on is weird.
Yeah. And then, you have the T-Wolves, which all of us, are kind of weird on the T-Wolves, but still, like, they still were in the Western Conference Finals last year. Like, they definitely could do something. They could make a push. They could make a trade, do whatever. But it's all those teams ahead of them are just like, oh, like, do I actually see the Lakers like beating any of these guys like in a 7-game series? And I think for the first time in a while, even Laker fans are like, no. I
think that they could beat the Clippers, but like I don't know about the top four.
It's anybody could beat the Clippers in the playoffs, bro. Let's be honest here. Yeah, they are the Clippers. But it's just so it's odd. It's weird. But yeah, I don't know. Then especially now, if you have Mr. the GM who's actually concerned, who knows if that's real or not, but if they're concerned about like not knowing them in the roster better, that's like, oh no, like that's
maybe
like
if you didn't focus on getting your son a roster spot, your team might be in a better position.
Let's calm down. Yeah. But it's like,
let's simmer down,
man. Like again, it's kind of, it's way different situation, but it is similar in the sense of like Miami, where it's like, this is LA. Like everyone wants to play in LA. Everyone wants to play. Well, I take that back. I don't know if everybody actually wants to play with LeBron. I would want to play with LeBron personally. I
want it.
Well, okay. Anyway, but that it's just so weird. I think that's why everyone's kind of like up and just like, well, it's over, because it just like nobody knows how to fix it at this point. Like it just kind of has to. I think this is the first time people are like, it kind of just has to run its course. Has to do its own thing. Maybe get some picks back eventually, and move forward. And that's it. That's all she wrote. Which is just, it's weird thinking about that for LA, because that didn't happen since really like Jordan Hill starting for them. So.
Yeah, good Lord. That was an era. That was an era of Lakers basketball.
That was.
Dawson,
Robert Sacre, dude, there were some crazy legends, Laker legends.
Do you think the sun is setting on the Lakers title hopes with LeBron?
Oh, yeah. And this is coming from someone that is a diehard LeBron fan that will back him up in any argument. It's time. Like, And it's not a bad thing. Like the Lakers have had that they won a chip for whatever people want to call it. It happened. They won the chip. So it wasn't a failure for LeBron's tenure with the Lakers. But at this point, LeBron's on the last year of his deal. He can opt out after this year or next year. Like, and LeBron holds all this power, wants him to trade the first round picks. It's like, I don't know, man. It just feels like you're gonna make him trade all these picks and then you're gonna leave. I've seen this story before. I just think, like, kind of like what Hunter said, you just got to let it run its course at this point. Because the Lakers, the last few seasons, have been like, oh, we got to make a bunch of moves at the deadline to really compete. But I just don't see a realm where unless some superstar that we don't know about is available for trade and the Lakers are working on getting him, which I don't think's happening. I think it's a wraps for the Lakers season. Now, saying that, they're still sitting at 6th in the West. They're in the playoff hunt right now. I don't think that can be overlooked. Like, they could still maybe win a playoff series or two, but like true title aspirations in a conference like the West with OKC, Houston, Memphis. I know we dog on the Nuggets a lot, but the Nuggets still have like title experience. I just think if you're the Lakers, I think those title aspirations are pretty much over.
I mean, you can just trade for Zion and you'll be good, right?
No. Zion needs to go not to LA. He already gets a lot of publicity for New Orleans of all places. Could you imagine in the LA media? They would rip that man apart.
I mean, there's no fast food restaurants in LA. It's like all health places.
In-N-Out, dude.
Oh, that's true.
In-N-Out, dude. In-N-Out's amazing.
I still haven't had In-N-Out.
Oh man, it's so yummy.
Peak.
Is it good?
Mm-hmm.
It's like the best meat place.
Have you guys had Whataburger?
Oh yeah.
Oh, and it's better than Whataburger?
Yes.
Okay. No, I want to know because again, I've only had Whataburger or whatever. It's
Whataburger's okay, but In-N-Out, I don't know. The time I had it was pretty good.
I tell you what, Whataburger is really good after watching your team lose the Big 12 championship. It's good coping food. But yeah, I have a sneaky suspicion that LeBron won't be in LA next year, and I think I know where he's going to go.
Milwaukee.
Cleveland.
At this point, I'd rather him go to Milwaukee.
Wow, crazy.
He needs to pull KD one more time before he retires.
He needs to come back home. LeBron,
Miami?
come on. Nope, his real home. Not that fake home, his real one.
His fake one brought one more title, but
we don't know. Hey, he could win 3 championships in Cleveland. We don't know.
Three?
I'm kidding.
I think LeBron's a Utah man. He's in a Jazz jersey, playing for Danny Ainge. Golly,
he might as well go play for the Wizards.
What a fit! That happened to one of my off topic. That happened to one of my 2K Sims one time after his Lakers contract went. He went to Utah. All of a sudden, getting to the game, and I'm like, I didn't pay any attention to any of the transactions I had, and then all of a sudden, LeBron James walks on the court in a highlighter. It's like,
Did they
what?
win? Were they good?
No, because they didn't have anything else. They just got rid of Lori and added LeBron.
No Lori marketing.
That was a downgrade, if anything.
Oh boy. Anyway,
sorry, I apologize for hating on your guys' go. By the way, Iowa State does this thing during the half times where they do like an Ask the Cyclone. They ask like some random question. Like one week it was like, who's your favorite superhero? What's your favorite candy or whatever? This week they decided to do this or that. And they did Jordan or LeBron.
Did they say Paul George? Anybody say Paul George?
No.
The real go?
Nas Reed.
You would be shocked. Okay, so there was 14 people that answered. What do you think the ratio was and for who?
9 Jordan, 5 LeBron.
It was 7-7.
Wow.
I thought it would have went like 10-4 for LeBron, honestly, just because of the era that we're like, those people are younger than me, and I didn't even get to watch Jordan play.
I'm trying to run through my head who I think would say what. I bet Keyshawn is a Jordan guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you guess Taman?
Taman's a LeBron guy. Gotta be. Whoa.
Taman was a Jordan guy.
Dang.
Conrad Holly. Who do you think he was?
Oh, Connor's got to be a LeBron stan. There's no way. What?
No, he was
Hunter,
Jordan.
you went over right now. What's going on?
Dude, I figured Conrad would be like the man who started the sunshine. Like that's the kind of man I picture CEO to be. That's crazy.
I'm trying to think. So Taman, Keyshawn, and Conrad all went Jordan. I'm trying to remember the other four.
Cujo?
He went LeBron, which didn't shock me. Kelderman went LeBron, but he's yeah. But
Big Nate.
Nate Heisey, I'm trying to remember who he went with. I think he went with Jordan.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
But that wouldn't shock me because he's from the Midwest, so he probably was a Bulls fan. But like, I think JT went Jordan. I can't remember for sure. But Keyshawn, Taman were the ones that I was like, oh, if you don't pick Jordan, I'd be shocked because Taman plays kind of that like old school defense first, offense second kind of era. Kojo, when he said LeBron, I was like, that's the most obvious one out of all of them. I don't know why. He just puts off LeBron vibes. I'm trying to remember what Joshua Jefferson said. But no, it was 7-7, and I was honestly upset that they ended at that. Because they only asked the players. I was like, no, you got to start asking coaches because you can't end at a 7-7 tie. This is some BS.
They didn't because they're all gonna say MJ.
All the coaches are, yeah.
Not true technically because Deontay Garrett played against LeBron. And Thomas Pollard is our age, so could be even more even than you think. But no, I think the coaches would have hammered Jordan over LeBron. Yeah. I mean, come on, TJ, he's definitely a Jordan guy.
He definitely is.
Getting back to the NBA, it looks like the All-Star starters will be announced. I guess it would be today when this show is airing on a Thursday. We're recording here on a Wednesday. Thursday night, they will be announcing the All-Star starters. I think Giannis is he officially leading the way in votes, or at least the last time votes were released, which is interesting because, Hunter, I feel like we need to talk about, I think I saw some stat. Is it true that Denver Nuggets star Nikola Jokic has had, was it 3 or 4 straight triple doubles and didn't even play in the fourth quarter?
I don't know. Probably played nobody teams. I don't pay attention.
Well, I know he played the Sixers because the joke of Embiid ducking popped up on my timeline.
I saw that.
Billion days.
Which still doesn't get talked enough. He hasn't played in Denver in 6 years.
Nope.
It's the high elevation, man. Yeah, he's had 4 straight triple doubles. I still would take Giannis over Jokic any day. Stats don't always line up to impact, honestly. I mean, heck, with those stats, you think that the Nuggets would be the number 1 seed, if not the number 2 seed in the West, and here they are sitting at number 4.
I mean, hey, I'm sure I'd get 10 assists doing dribble handoff all game too. It really isn't that hard. So, saying.
Well, getting back to the All-Star game, are you guys looking forward to the All-Star game? I know they kind of changed up the format.
Always. I'm always looking forward to the All-Star game.
Well, they changed up the format this year, right?
It's like 3v3s.
It's yeah. Are you guys actually interested in seeing that this year? I'll probably end up asking you guys this question in a couple weeks, but
for the sake of it being new, I'll probably turn on and watch it. Kind of just like how the NBA tournament last year. Like I had to see what it looked like before I gave my a true reaction. But I don't know if I'm gonna like it or not. But to be fair, I think it's gonna be something better than what we've had the last few years. Because the All-Star games, you guys know, have just been they're unwatchable at this point because there's no defense played. It's just long threes. You might get a dunk or two, but it's literally it's like an open gym pretty much the entire time.
Can we just vote for All-Stars and just be like, this player was an All-Star, don't have to play the game? I know that they probably make money off of it anyways. It doesn't really matter. So that's why they're doing it for the cash grab. But like, I'm not interested in watching it. Will I watch it though? Yeah, because it's something different. Just like I'll watch whether I like admitting this or not. I will watch the NBA Saturday Night trash, whatever it may be. Who were the two contestants that were announced for the dunk contest, Dawson?
Matas Buzelis and Stephon Castle. 2 rookies. I didn't know Matas had a bag like that when it came to dunking.
The crazy thing too, and the little like 15-second hype tape from the NBA, they posted a layup for Stephon Castle.
Are you serious?
In a dunk contest.
Did they post this on Twitter?
I'm pretty sure it was the actual NBA account posted on Twitter. It was an actual layup.
Okay.
Huh.
Hunter, like, what are your thoughts? I'm gonna look this up though.
I think I'll be interested in the other two. I am sad and disappointed that it's already, I know he's already basically claimed that he's not going to do it. I'm just upset that like Ja won't do it and like Zion won't, even like Jaylen Brown would be cool to see in it. Like,
no, do you not watch him last year?
Okay. But he like again,
left hand and made it like a big deal.
Using your left-handed basketball is hard.
At this rate, though, he could get knocked out at least early if it were with John Zion. But like seeing, I don't know, guys who play. It's not that they don't play. Like Buzelis and Stephon, they're obviously talented. I know Stephon Castle's had some pretty dope dunks. But like, really, like, can we get? It's like bring back Gerald Green at this point. I'm sure he can still do something cool.
Bring some randos off the street.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Jordan Kilgannon, dude. If you guys remember that guy, bring him, put him in the dunk contest. He's got some crazy ones.
I'm trying to find this layup.
I think I like something about it. So I can find it, hopefully.
That's just hilarious that's even a possibility. But like, yeah, I'm not interested. Mac McClung was great last year, obviously. That's because he's perfected the craft of dunking and everything. I would love, honestly, get some of the G League guys involved with this because some of them are really good dunkers. Mm-hmm. And honestly, they're probably have more experience doing creative things just because, they're in the G League, so they have more time to just kind of mess around. Not that they're not taking their job seriously or anything, but it'd be more an entertainment factor. Deontay Burton is a great dunker, and I feel like he would be a great opportunity. I don't know if he's changed how he plays since he's graduated from Iowa State, but like he was a great dunker as a whole. I've watched him win a dunk contest at Iowa State, and so I know he can do it. It's just whether or not they would actually give someone like him an opportunity. But we're getting close here to wrapping up. Hunter, are you wanting to do your wise words today? Do you have anything?
Always.
I'm assuming you're still trying to search for that video, but
yeah, I'll find it eventually. Okay.
But here, by the way, here's the AI image of Jimmy Butler in a Suns uni.
Wow, just wow.
And
what's that one?
I'm not sure how that got here. Jimmy Butler. I mean, Chris Middleton in a Miami Heat jersey, but
Bradley Beal looked like a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle.
Him and Rondo.
Yeah. Yeah. So today, it's been a while since we talked about hoops, but we're gonna take a little step back here because the world will be watching two men try to save this great country this weekend. Jaden Daniels, Josh Allen, if you can hear me, please save us. Please. If you are not cheering for those two this weekend, you're a terrorist. I'm sorry. We just have to go to that extreme. There's just no way. Like, you don't appreciate what this country's done if you're cheering for those other two guys to make it to a Super Bowl again. But yeah, so that's really number one. But yeah, no. Again, like I just have to reiterate this because I was telling these two guys before we started. Here I was on a Tuesday night, just that here in Nebraska Kearney, all the students came back and whatnot, and just finally getting into my bed, and I just checked Twitter for the first time in a few hours, and the heart attack that I had upon seeing Chris Middleton might be gone, guys. Like, oh my, yeah, man, if genuinely, if we trade, I don't think we should trade Chris. But like, you could talk me into there's a world where you could maybe talk me into Zach LaVine, potentially. If you trade for Bradley Beal, I will riot. I will actually drive to Milwaukee just so I can burn this Bucks hat and just get rid of any fandom I once had.
Will you live stream it for us?
Because holy cow. Like, just at that point, trade Giannis, trade Dame. I could care less. Like,
Beal wouldn't even be the best shooting guard.
Yeah, just team. Do not, please, for the love of God. Like, do not make this, because then we might as well just keep Bobby Portis too. Like, make it a Beal and Portis led team, please. Like, that would be
the
awesome.
First time that they led a team.
Awesome to watch. Like, wow, incredible. We'll see them drop 60 combined, but they'll have 240 points dropped on us every night. But yeah. Lastly, I had this pulled up earlier. And I'm not gonna find it. That's okay. We need everyone. The voting's done at this point, but everyone need you to make sure that we remember that Damian Lillard is the best point guard in the East. Don't let anybody say otherwise. You can convince me on LaMelo, even though the Hornets are no longer better than the Bucks. That was once a statement that was said on this show because they were at one point.
A lot of people were better than the Bucks at one point.
Don't let anybody forget where we came from. But Damian Lillard, I've been seeing too much disrespect, too much of this Jalen Brunson propaganda. Give me option 2 Damian Lillard every day of the week. That's all I got.
I mean, Drew Holiday's pretty good.
You are a liar and a fiend, and you know it.
All right. By the way, I think only Hunter may know what I'm talking about, but 3 years ago today, the TikTok drummer performed at Hilton Coliseum, which ended up being the worst halftime show in the history of halftime shows. The only time I've ever seen someone get booed for his halftime show. Dawson, I will send you the video. You will have to watch it. Because the best part was he blindfolded himself and drummed. And then what did the pep band do later on? They had their drummer blindfold himself and drum. And was like, where's my halftime show? So, literally, embarrassingly enough, I think I booed too. Like, this, it was so bad. Hunter, have you seen this video? It's pretty bad. But I just wanted to point that out. But yeah, hopefully Jaden Daniels and Josh Allen may be coming a little bit.
You can hear me. Save us.
You're going to get Mahomes, Jalen Hurts Super Bowl, and you're going to like it.
Save us.
Dude, I would not be able to. Like, that's the worst case scenario, and I'll get into more.
Who would have thought that Super Bowl would have happened? Like,
I rather would have watched Thursday Night Football Texans versus Rams for Super Bowl. Genuinely. That would have been so much better.
Yeah, that's where I'm at, too. But we'll be back next week, hopefully, if our schedules line up. For Hunter Rose, Dawson Livingston, I'm Brock Bierman. We are the Hardwood Convos crew. We'll see you guys next week.